gorgeous Saturday. At least it's gorgeous where I'm at. We are live today with all 4 of our delightful players. Am I muted? No, I went. We are live today with all 4 of my delightful players, the Broken Bane players. We've got Battle, Freya, Yume, and Winnie. And, well, how's everybody doing today? Are we all doing alright?
Doing great.
Hooray!
Excited to be here. Doing well.
Doing great. I thought you were talking to the chat at first. Also, chat, how are you?
Yeah, chat. How's chat doing? It doesn't look like we have any viewers yet, but as soon as y'all jump in here, go ahead and say hello. Alright. Well, what do y'all remember happening last time? Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Happened last time.
Oh, we've got Tech Soup in chat. That's excellent. Hello, Tech. Well, it looks like my viewer count is not accurate, but whatever.
I convinced all the rest of the group to go on a wild bee aspect chase. Potentially on a train.
Kind of. Yes. Oh, yes, that's true. You did convince everybody to go help your friend out, yeah. And then you ended up in this town, and you scoped out the train station, and then you...
We got the idea to disguise Winnie as a member of the elite class, and in order to get the necessary accoutrements, played a bit of a heist.
Yep. Heists did happen.
To be clear, we tried buying our way onto the train first.
It's true.
But there were no tickets available.
Right.
So we had to resort to more dubious measures.
Because it's a privately
did try.
owned and run train. Yes, you did ask that question, yes. When I explained this to a friend of mine, they were like, did they try to buy a ticket? And I said yes. And they were like, they couldn't buy a ticket. And I said no. And they were like, then this is on you.
Yep.
Like, yeah. Yeah, it really is. I agree.
Yes.
All right, and those shenanigans, I believe, if I recall correctly, involved stealing a dress when it looked like the lady wouldn't sell it to you, running away with said dress, almost being chased by guards, but they were stopped by bees. Well, the ladies that were complaining about you stealing the dress were stopped by bees. Yume distracted the guards, and
Yes.
Battle ended up in the hat shop. Made a deal with the... Shoot, I forgot the name of what a hat shop is.
Haberdashery.
Haberdashery, yes, the dude that runs the haberdashery made a deal with him so you could go out the back door, which conveniently enough is facing out to where the train yard is, and
Bribed him.
yeah, am I still live? Yeah, I think I am. That's odd. I just got a notification with my stream stats, but that usually doesn't happen until the very end, so fun times. Carrying on. Where did you all end up, do you think? You remember where you're at?
We're in the haberdashery on our way to sneak out the
be.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I had just updated everybody, and Freya had just caught back up with the rest of us after running away from the guards.
And
Did a good
that's
job
right.
at running and a bad job at sneaking.
Yes. That sounds accurate. So what I have written down for learned is you may cast bees when startled. Bribery works. Freya has stamina, but not good talking points. And Winnie
It's true.
Winnie can be convinced to step outside of her comfort zone in order to help a friend. And then the role-playing point went to Yume, Yume for fear bees, which is all I wrote down. Good honorable mentions were Battle for not only coming up with a bribe to get out the back door of the hat shop, but a legit reason to want to do this, so surprising her mistress. And another honorable mention is Freya attempting to deceive the dress shop owner because the dice betrayed an awesome performance. And some other good moments is Freya just straight up yoinking an entire outfit, and Yume's distraction techniques, which, for the record, were very distracting to me as a human as well. So, just good job all around, everybody there. That was great.
Sorry? You're
No.
welcome?
No, you're welcome is the correct answer. Yeah, because that was excellent. I walked away from that and I was like, I legitimately got flustered. Like, I legitimately was like, young lady, go away. Not as like a GM, right? Like the GM part of me wasn't, but the character was like, come on, leave. Just it's ruined now. Fine. You did a really good job. Oh, we've got Zeitgeist in here. Hello, Zeitgeist. Thank you so much for joining us. Am I saying that right? Zeitgeist?
Yes, like Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist, but Zeitgeist? I think I said whatever.
Yeah.
That's never gonna... blah, blah. And she said all good towns have haberdasheries, which is absolutely true. All right, so we're standing in the haberdashery. You may remember you have a role-playing point. I think we ended it with... Battle, did you just sort of like yank everybody in there? Was there a sedate entering of this shop, or did you all just pile into this haberdashery? You remember?
Freya was definitely not sedate.
Did she trip on the...
I think there's a
Probably.
little bit of a rush because Freya had fallen, and we're trying to keep her from being noticed
Oh.
again.
That's right, you did
I tried
fall
to sneak,
right in
and
the
I did a
street.
bad job sneaking.
Yeah, you did, yeah. All right, so before we get started this evening, does anybody have any questions? Or are we good? All right. So,
No questions.
you have ducked into a haberdashery. I believe I described this as there are hats on stands all over the shop, and they're lit in these pools of light with lanterns that use make stuff shiny, like buffed metal to reflect light, so it's safe for the hats. But there's quite a bit of light in here, and as the door ting closes behind you with a little ting of the bell, this very tall gentleman in the back is just tying a very, very large and garishly pink bow on top of a hat box. And he looks up and he says, "Aha, you are back. And are these your compatriots?" And he's...
Yes. We'll just quickly exit and get out of your way. All right, is the hat prepared?
Indeed, of course. And he holds up the box and he sort of like does like a little half bow as he hands it to you. And then as you take it, he does like a ridiculous flourish to the back of the shop and pulls back the curtain. And yeah, what do you guys do? Folks do, rather.
As I take the hat, I do a little bow to match him and say thank you so much, and kind of like jerk everybody along to the back because we're needing to get out of this town fast.
So it's quite narrow to get through the curtained off area, because it almost seems like the doorway was sort of cut just for him. He's a very narrow person. And when you get back there, you realize that the whole back of the shop is only maybe 6 feet deep by 10 feet wide. It's very tiny, and it's just crammed with shelves with every kind of anything you would need to make hats possible, and a bench along the right-hand wall, and then that door to the back. And it's already propped open just a little bit with a block so that there can be a breeze coming through. And there's also a narrow ladder that looks like it's going up to the second floor. And I didn't build this hat shop because I just made it up. So y'all go straight through to the back. You walk back through that back door.
Look impressed at Battle, and then give a little wave to the shop owner before waiting for him to turn away. And I'll summon Dandy down like behind a shelf
Great.
and have him turn invisible and just like hang out near the door.
Mhm.
Just to give me a little alert if for some reason this doesn't go so well, and he can let me know with a little bit of warning if somebody's onto us.
Got it. Now, is
I'm
this
gonna
the front door of the shop or the back door?
The back door.
Got it. And Freya, what was that?
I'm gonna try and follow as close to battle as possible. I'm like appropriately cowed by my adventures from the last week and just don't want to cause any more trouble
That's
for
fair.
like 5 minutes.
That just 5 minutes. That's all you want.
I mean, like 5 seems like a realistic goal.
I mean, yeah. Okay. So, you're all following along. Now, Yume, did you want to have Dandy scout at all through that door? Because I think they'd be able to get out without you opening it. Do you want to have everybody pause before Dandy goes out? As soon as the last
no.
of you gets past the curtain, the shop owner drops the curtain.
I'm fine with us just going out the back door. I
Alright.
would just want to know if anybody comes into the shop after us
Okay.
and have a little heads up of that.
So on the map. Ooh.
Does the back door put us right back onto the platform of the train, or is there like somewhere that Winnie can change before we go out?
So you're actually out. The back door opens into a scrubby little yard with fences that go out that are about 5 feet tall, and they go out about maybe 10 feet. And there's a gate in it that's maybe only 3 feet tall, so you can see that there's open plains beyond the fence. If you recall, the scouting that you did of the train station showed that the train would pull in past this row of shops, and the platform only went to the second to last car. And so the caboose actually would be sticking off the end of the platform, and people could only enter cars from not the last. Oh my gosh! No one can get into the caboose. It's not pulled up to the platform. The platform only has the middle cars. So the engine car, and the caboose car are off the ends of the platforms. Y'all are exiting a shop on the caboose end, not the engine end. And
Is the train here yet?
yes, it is. I can't remember whether it was or not, but I'm just gonna say it is. And you,
Like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
that.
we don't have that much time.
no, the train's gonna be in the station for about an hour. And I think it's been here for about 15, so you've got about 45 minutes.
I think we should still go ahead and try and get on the train and like. Well,
Look
I think we should go
around.
ahead and try and get on and hide
Mhm.
as effectively as possible until the train leaves. Because like once the train has left the station, it's harder to kick us off.
Yep. That's true.
Can I cast? I'll throw this to you and see what you think.
Mhm.
If I asked Shy to sniff around the caboose to see if anybody's in there, can she understand that?
Oh, this is a beast companion?
Yeah.
Is that what we did with her? Sorry, I meant to pull up rules for this. Give me one moment. Let me just take a
Yes.
gander.
She's a beast companion. She has keen hearing and smell, advantage on wisdom perception checks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think you have a problem directing her. You may, do you weigh in here if you know anything about this, because I get so confused between the beast companions and the familiars. I always forget which is which.
I'm sorry, I think I missed a crucial part of like what the question was.
So Battle's asking if she can send. Yeah. Okay, I've got a ruling here. Battle. Shy can obey commands as best she can, so you probably couldn't tell Shy to go pick a lock, but Scout, right? Like go out and tell, come back and tell me if it's safe. That's probably something that she'd be able to do. I'm relating this back to the like a PTSD service dog. You can send a PTSD service dog into a room, and they can come back and tell you if it's safe. And having that assurance helps some people with something like PTSD. So that's kind of what I'm
more elaborate
imagining it as.
answer, I could always cast speak with animals.
Correct. That's very true. Yeah. So what are we doing? We send in Shy out to check. Sorry, what was that? I was messing with my headphones.
I was asking in character.
I didn't hear you. What was it?
Is everybody okay if I send Shy ahead to check and see if anyone's in the caboose?
Yeah, go ahead. And they left the door open for us, but it still might not be safe.
Yeah. Better safe than sorry. Especially right now. Okay, so I send Shy off.
Okay. So, the back gate needs to be opened. I assume you open the back gate. Is Winnie changing here?
I think this is the good place to change.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I mean, I
Still
think this is the
inside
best, most private space you're gonna have to change for sure.
And am I disguising myself here as well, or are we waiting until we get to the train station or closer to it? Because I only have an hour.
You could probably hold on to that in case you need it in a pinch. I don't know if you need the magic and the disguise.
I don't know. Do you
Check
think
out the
anyone's
hat
going to
to
be
see if it has a
suspicious
veil, like-
of a well-to-do furbolg?
Not necessarily. It might not be the most common thing because they tend to stick to the less to the cities,
woods,
yeah, and more to the
yeah.
woods and type thing. But I don't think it's completely out of the ordinary. Okay, so we'll say Shy goes out, comes back, and she doesn't. You tell her to go scout. She tells you that it's safe, that there's nobody out there, nobody looking. Is kind of what you pick up. So what you can infer from that is there isn't a guard on the caboose door.
Could she smell if there was anyone inside or hear anyone inside?
I think if she could smell or hear anybody, she would have told you that there was somebody there.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So it seems like the coast is clear, everyone. Once you get changed. Does it fit okay?
Does it fit okay?
Right. It does not.
Good.
Try not to move your head too much because some of that might fall off.
Is there like
I
a?
forgot.
It's a whole outfit. So there's like, is there like a cloak that would make it less obvious?
So it was an
People are-
outfit on a dress form. So the benefit here that I have for you is that it wasn't fully finished, and so Winnie's basically able to get the riding dress on over the front, and on the back you're gonna have to get creative and kind of stitch it up, and then
Okay.
somehow you're gonna have to disguise that. I rolled a 7, so doesn't.
Do we have a decent? Does anybody have a nice cloak? Winnie, do you have a nice cloak?
No,
I guess your cloak
don't.
doesn't have to be that nice. You can just have like a decent cloak. Or you never turn your back to anyone ever.
Well, my cloak is rather beat up and old and tattered.
So I've got an idea.
Mhm.
You just like carry your cloak unobtrusively, and then if you ever have to turn your back on anyone, you just like put your cloak on in like a huff. Or because you're cold and you always travel with this beatable thing because it was your grandmother's. And so it's your special lucky traveling cloak.
Not a terrible idea.
Do you think that's actually gonna work?
No, but worst case scenario, we have to beat
No.
people up.
I
And
don't.
this is like a good way
I
to
don't think so.
try and at least delay the violence.
I mean, maybe, does anybody have a blanket that once we get you on the train and settled, that we can say that, like, You're napping. Cover you up enough?
I mean, is this the type of train where we're going to have like seats, or we're going to have cars, or
I mean,
we're going to have compartments?
The reality is we're gonna like try and hide, right? And so the dress is really only if we get confronted to help us kind of get us out of that situation, ideally without getting like kicked off the train while it's moving. So the outfit for Winnie is mostly just a backup at this point because we're still trying to sneak onto the train and everything.
I don't know how well I'm going to be able to sneak in this dress.
Well, this is a riding dress, so actually you can do everything you would do to like ride a horse. And so I'm imagining this, and I don't care how historically accurate this is, that you actually have a fairly good amount of movement in this. And if it was the right size, it would fit you quite well, or it'd be very comfortable. It's a little binding in the shoulders, and in the bendy bits, but it's also not made of very sturdy material. So if you had to sort of hulk out of it, you definitely could.
Winnie hasn't like ever worn a dress, so she's feeling pretty constrained.
Yeah, there's a lot of fabric around your legs that you're unfamiliar with, and like that's a very strange feeling to have fabric down in that area. And then the other thing that I think would be more constraining about a dress is they're quite tight-ish, tighter than you're used to in the chest area, right? Like the top portion is more fitted. So yeah.
Yeah. Are we
fighting's
sure we
probably
had it on the right way? It feels kind of tight.
All right.
Let's try to get in the caboose, and maybe it won't matter. Let's see what the situation is.
Yeah, I think we just gotta roll with it, see what happens.
All right. How are y'all approaching this caboose? Are you gonna? Yeah. How are y'all approaching? Are you thinking
Sneakily.
about sneakily? Okay, so we're gonna try and sneak. So instead of,
Oh boy.
all right. Can you all roll me a group sneak? So you're each gonna roll
What?
sneak. So is this not called sneak? Stealth.
Stealth?
Roll stealth. I want to know what everybody rolls, and I'll tell you what happens to you as a group.
12.
Oh, nat 20 plus 7, so 27.
Excellent.
Winnie got 14.
Not bad.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
How's Yume doing?
I got a 2 on the die, but I have a +3, so 5.
Did Yume get the roleplay point from last time?
I
They-
did.
They did no. Well, this is actually a good time to before you use that to explain how I like to deal with group roles. Battle, do you have disadvantage on stealth rolls?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do
that's-
I?
Yeah, that's what that D next to stealth means.
What does that mean?
That
because
means
of
you have
her
to roll
armor?
again, and you have to take your lower roll.
Don't like that.
Oh, I know, I don't like it
But
either.
I'm plus 7. That's so
I
confusing.
know. You're wearing scale mail. It's medium
18.
armor.
18, including the plus 7.
Okay, that's still really good, though. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
But it's not a nat 20.
I know.
Blah.
So the way that I like to do these group ones, and I may have stolen this from a stream, so I apologize if I did, but the way I like to do the group ones is as long as... Did you roll a nat 1, Yume?
No, natural 2.
Right. Okay. So as long as nobody rolls a nat 1, and if the majority of the group has a high enough roll, and especially if somebody rolled a nat 20 or rolled really close to a 20, it kind of balances out. It's the way I like to play it. So, does that sound all right to everybody, or would you rather everybody suffer individually?
Not the second one.
I thought.
So do you do it like number
Agreed.
of successes versus number of failures, or just kind of averaging the numbers out?
Number of successes versus number of failures. It's a kind of a holdover from Shadowrun for me. So yeah. Anyway,
It seems reasonable.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You're all moving as a group. You know, if one of you rolls a nat 1 and falls down and makes a bunch of noise because you are wearing armor and a forge and all kinds of other stuff, cough, cough, referring to another player in another campaign here who's listening in, then the group fails, right? Like if he falls down a cliff and makes a bunch of noise, then the group fails. I don't care who rolled a nat 20 kind of thing. So it's kind of a group dynamic. Anyway, in this group, we got an 18, a 14, a 12, and a 5. You open the gate, it squeaks a little, but not a horrible noise, and you walk through, you're laying low. The fences all along this row of shops are all about the same height. It's different woods and things. So they're obviously different fences, but they're all about 5 feet, so you just have to stay lower than that to not be seen by the shops. You can follow the line of the fences up to where the caboose is. The caboose, the last shop before the train station starts, that fence ends about 2 feet away from the foot of the caboose. Then the caboose exists in a space off the end of the train platform, but through like an alley, where somebody can access the alley to get up through there. Does that make sense? So you've got train station, alley, shop, dress shop actually. So you're sneaking along the fence.
Yes, that makes sense.
So you sneak along the fence and you get to the foot or the back of this caboose, which you should see on your screen as just a board, it looks like, because you haven't entered the caboose yet. Is that what everybody else is seeing?
Yes.
All right. Now,
It's a wide train.
yes. So this is my train, and I wanted to make it this large, so it is. And also, I didn't have any train assets. I had cart assets. So you're all going to pretend this is a train. We're all going to pretend together this is a train.
You're gonna make us pretend
Yes,
in D&D?
I am.
That seems like a big ask.
I'm doing it.
Uncomfortable with pretending.
I'm doing it. And yes, I am excruciatingly aware that the dimensions are incorrect because I love trains and I know a lot about them. But we're all gonna pretend that this is a train together as friends.
Except.
Okay. I may cave and change the dimensions later, but for right now, this is what we have. All right. So also, what is not displayed here is the back of a caboose actually has sort of a platform that comes off the back of like an open sort of platform where the roof comes out to the back, and so you walk up these 2 short steps onto this platform, and then there's the door to the caboose, which is not portrayed on this map, but I want you to imagine it with your imagination. Now, this train is actually a very interesting color. It's painted in sort of a sky blue, but that blue, not like a bright summer sky blue, but like the blue that you see right after the sun goes down, sort of a gloaming sky blue. So a darker grayer blue. And then all the edges are a dark gray, and it appears to be in pretty good repair, and all of the metal is a gray metal. It's probably iron or something like that. It looks quite snazzy, quite spiffy. And on the caboose door, there's a handle, and it's a silver handle, what looks like, not a handle, a doorknob. And painted onto the door is a picture of what you can. It looks like a man's face with a big beard and flowy hair, with his lips pursed like this, like he's blowing out. That is what you see. What do you do?
Does this man look familiar to any of us?
It's a stylized drawing, but why don't y'all roll a history check for me?
Really not my strong suit. 5.
Awful.
got an
4?
8.
Great.
We're doing great.
You're doing great. Yeah, you may bring it home.
12.
Okay. You recognize this as a fairly common symbol for wind, or the gods of wind. It's very generic, but it reminds you of that.
Okay.
And it's just painted on there. It's just a 2D image.
Okay, yeah, that answers my question.
Yeah. And there are no windows, actually. You notice as you're climbing up onto the caboose that there are no windows, or I won't say you've climbed on the caboose yet. I'll let you guys tell me that, but there are no windows on this caboose. There's not on the side, not on the door. It's a closed box.
Unless anybody stops me, I'm gonna hop up and try to open the door.
Got it. Okay.
I'm
So,
up.
so you hop up, you grab the door handle, and it's unlocked, and the door just swings right open.
Okay, you ready? Look down at them.
I'm gonna jump up and follow Yume
Okay.
and try and be relatively quiet and keep an eye out for anything I could see in the caboose.
All right. Anybody else following
Yes.
Yume in?
I think Winnie is following behind, very uncomfortably trying to get up in the dress.
That's
you need
fair.
help up, Winnie?
No. I got it.
I think Battle and Shy are gonna hang to enter it last, just to kind of keep the trail and make sure that nobody's coming in behind us, and that the door shuts okay, and that that we're safe.
Got it. All right. So I heard from Freya that she wants to look around and see what she sees in the caboose. I heard from Yume that they were hopping up in there first. I heard from Winnie that she's very carefully sort of climbing into the caboose and watching where her skirts are and stuff. And I heard from Battle that she's keeping a good eye out, bringing up the rear, keeping a good eye out to make sure nobody's watching, and that you can get the door closed. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So in that
Yes.
order, Freya, please roll me an investigation check. So I'm gonna go down that line.
6.
You are standing in a very plain, empty room or a car. The walls are the same paint that you saw on the outside. That blue with silver edges along the tops of the walls and the doors. There's a door at the other end of the car, and there are gray painted benches, 6 of them, 3 along each side of the long side of the car. Now, who did I say next? I think it was Yume. Yume, you've hopped up in the car. Why don't you go ahead and roll me an investigation check as well? I assume you're going to look around.
Sure am.
And please, whenever you guys are doing investigation checks, I'll try and remind you of this, but try and remember to mention anything you might be looking for in particular.
Okay. I don't think Yume anticipates this, but is going to look anyway, just directly for anyone who has any sort of cage, or looks like they're monitoring something,
Sure,
two
you're
or
keeping
three
a...
people surrounding something.
Yeah, got it. All right. What'd you roll?
Very low. 4.
You rolled a 4.
4 total.
Okay. You see the same thing that Freya saw. Plain walls, the door on the end. There's no light in here, so it's rather dim, and it's a bit difficult to see details. And your eyes are still adjusting from the light from the outside. I think that's why you and Freya are having a little bit of trouble looking around.
Humans.
Winnie, can you roll me? I'm looking for something for handling yourself roll me in athletics.
Okay.
I'm looking for a movement roll, you know what I mean?
I'm good at athletics. We'll see how this goes.
Winnie, don't stress out too much about tearing that dress. I can patch it up later if you need.
I only got 8.
Wow.
Sounds like she needs.
That was a natural 2 on the dice.
Oh my god, you guys are all right.
This
Vomit
is
it.
not gonna go well.
It's gonna
Time
be
for
fine.
replacing some dice,
It's gonna be
everyone.
fine.
Yeah.
Fresh
Now-
set, fresh
Dice
set.
jail. Dice jail.
So when you get up onto the caboose, when you step onto the first step of the caboose, your heel actually catches on the back of the skirt, and so it kind of you feel a tug there, but nothing rips. You get up it sort of causes you to stumble because the steps up to a caboose are weird size. They're not a standard size, and you're a furbolg, so you're a little bit bigger, and so you kind of stumble. You get up to the door, you catch yourself on the door frame, and there's a bit of a oof, and then you duck under. You're very tall, right? Yeah, Winnie's
Yeah.
very tall. You kind of duck under, and the skirt snags on, God knows what. Oh, I know what. This dress actually has pockets, and the pocket snags on the door handle, and it starts to shut, and it hurts so bad, and it starts to shut, and Battle
I
actually has
hate
to
that.
catch the door before it shuts. So Battle, can you roll me a dex check?
Of course. Shit.
Oh no.
What do we got?
8.
You rolled an 8.
Nat 3.
You rolled a 3. Great. So she.
Is there a particular form of dexterity that you would like?
No, that's good. You added your
Okay.
dexterity saving modifier, right?
No. Oh, then it's 10.
Great. So you do manage to just barely catch it. It does. The fabric that's caught in the door saves your fingers, but just barely. Like, have you ever caught a slamming door, but it didn't quite slam all the way in your fingers, but you could feel it? Like, it didn't bruise, but you're like, whoa, that could have sucked. That happens. The fantasy version
Flashbacks.
of that happens.
Flashbacks.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I do that to myself all the time. It's the worst. So you're, all right, so, but Winnie's safely in. You untangle yourself from the door. Battle, can you roll me a perception check? Because you're keeping an eye out behind while you get that door closed.
Yes, and then I was hoping once I close the door, if I can try to lock it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Much better.
Good.
Thank you, new
Yeah.
dice. What kind of a check am I doing?
Perception check.
Perception. Oh, eyeballs. 23.
Oh, excellent. So there is not a single person the entire length of this. You can tell, actually, that a couple of storefronts down is probably what is a restaurant, because you can hear somebody bustling around in the yard back there, but it's far enough away and the fences are high enough that they can't see anything that's happening, even up on the caboose. You could also just see over the alley's fence, and you can see people milling around out there, but it's normal crowd milling, and you can hear that they're loading what sounds like luggage into the car in front of you, and you can hear people boarding the train and regular train boarding noises like, well, it's not all board time, but like, step right this way, miss, and oh, I'll grab that bag for you, and yes, this is of course my ticket, and things like that is all happening on the train. But it doesn't sound, there's no sounds of alarm or anything. It sounds like you guys haven't been spotted. So you get inside. Now we're going to take a pause for just a moment as a group outside of the game, and I want you all to pick up your d20s and hold them in your hands just for a moment.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And I want you to tell your d20, hi, we're friends, all right? We're going to play this game together, and it's going to be fun. And I want you to mean it, all right? Just look at your d20 as lovingly as possible and say, I know you're having a tough day, buddy, but I'd like you to be nice to me for the rest of this game.
We're all bonding with our new selections, right?
Okay?
Like we all
Yes.
grabbed a different one.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I want you to very gently set it down on the table and remind it that when you throw it at something to roll it, that's fun for the die, and you're not hurting it at all. All right, now that we've all done that, we're going to go back into the game for a minute, hopefully roll a little better. Now, you have all, Battle has shut the door behind you, so you're all standing there in complete silence, and Battle, you wanted to try and lock the door behind you? There is...
Can you hear me?
I can
Oh,
now.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. There
Yes.
is one of those... I don't care if this is historically accurate. There's one of those like metal bars that you throw across into a catch, like slides right in. There's one of those. You can slide that pretty easily. There's no trick to it. All right. What do y'all do next?
I want to inform everybody of what I could hear, that the next car up, people are in there and people are starting to load in, so we should stay vigilant, but it seems like we're okay.
Okay. And you're all staying fairly quiet, right?
Hmm. When you said there were no windows before, was that just on the back of the caboose, or there are no windows on the whole car?
There's no windows on the sides of the car either.
Is that true for the rest of the train or just the caboose?
So you all were messing around in the shops while the train was pulling in, so you're not quite sure.
Do we know, do any of us know anything about trains in terms of like, is there typically someone who like rides in the caboose? Like, do we need to be finding a place to hide or trying to work our way into another car prior to the train leaving?
So I know this is a bit odd, and if you don't like it, go ahead and tell me. But I'd like you to do sort of a wisdom check,
Except,
because it's
Okay,
I'm thinking of this as the kind of thing as like, I'm not quite sure what your backstory is. This will help us fill in a little bit. If you roll like a nat 20 or whatever, I can be like, all right, yeah, you're super familiar with trains. It gives us a bit of a die roll for it. Or if you can tell me
12.
what in your history is like, yeah, I totally know about trains, that would help too.
Freya's like been around and she's been traveling, but like trains aren't a particular interest. So I think she would be like, I'm assuming in this world, this is not like the only train in the world.
No.
And so if she's been traveling, she would
Yeah.
have encountered other trains.
Mhm.
And she's done shady things, usually by accident. Um,
That
'cause
okay.
She gets excited and wants to be friends with people, and then all of a sudden that adventure wasn't as wholesome as she expected. You know,
Good to
it
know.
happens to the best of us. But she rolled a 12
All right.
to know about trains.
What I think Freya would know is that in very broad scope, the middle bits are for paying passengers, and the ends are for the train people, like the people operating the train. So like the very front car is most likely the engine. It's either the back car or the front car, and because it's not this one, then it's most likely the front car. Because trains can drive backwards, y'all. And then the other end of the car is usually a storage, is something you'd be familiar with. Because this room doesn't have anything stored in it, it's probably for overflow or something like that. It's not unusual for this car to be empty.
Okay, so it's not unusual for this car to be empty. We could be taking a risk in that, like, some of the people working on the train might come back. Like, they've been loading stuff or whatever, and they might come back here at the very end. So it might make sense if we can, like, safely see what is in the car ahead of us. But we want to do that, like, really carefully.
Okay.
I might be able to help with that.
Tell me more.
Yes.
How common is it for dogs and or magical creatures to be in trains?
So in my world, I think familiars and beast companions are common, because I want it to be. If any of you feel very strongly that it isn't, I can cordon off a little section of Azinlia where, people don't like fun things. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
I thought there was something last
No,
week
that
where like
was
dogs are super
appropriate.
common, either like sentient or,
Yeah.
or like awakened or otherwise.
Yeah, there's also awakened cats in this world. I haven't seen the rule books yet for it, but I've decided. And they're coming. The rule books are coming, and so yeah, I think it's fairly common. I
Like
don't think it would
giant
be weird.
bees. Probably not so much.
Well, I think familiars show up in a variety of ways.
That's fair.
And so I don't think a giant bee would be. I mean, it would. It's unusual, but not unheard of.
Right. It
Yeah.
would tip people off to like, oh, that's some sort of magical creature.
Yes.
There must be a caster around.
Yes, absolutely. Whereas, like, a dog probably wouldn't get the same reaction. Yeah.
So I make a pretty thorough search of the caboose, realizing that there's nothing helpful here.
May I ask
And then
really quickly what searching the caboose looks like?
I figured, I don't know, I didn't know exactly what that looks like, but since I rolled solo, I figured, like, I don't see anything helpful. Like, looking inside
Are
any
you gonna
boxes
walk?
or underneath benches.
Are you gonna walk around, or are you going to, or are you gonna stand still and look?
Oh, if there's nobody else in here, like the other door is shut, I'll slowly walk around and, like, peer under things and see if there's anything to open.
All right. Is anybody else doing the same thing?
I think I've already looked around and just basically found that it was caboose, so I'm not going to keep. I'm going to respect that die.
But did you walk around?
Oh, I totally walked around. Yes.
Winnie?
Winnie is like in her head trying to like rehearse lines of what she's gonna say if and when they get caught,
Uh-huh.
and trying to like figure out what a rich person would say and how they would say it and what they would sound like, and try and like prepare for the inevitable.
And do
What
you
she
think?
feels is the inevitable.
Got it. But she'd be standing in one spot probably.
Yeah.
And Battle, were you hanging out by the back door, or would you have done a search? Shy stays with you unless you send her off.
Yeah, now that I've locked the door, I think I want to know more about how far down the train we have to go, if what we're looking for is here,
Mhm.
and just kind of really trying to be vigilant about, like, I don't know, I'd probably ask Yume, like, hey, so I know that we're trying to help your friend. Do you know what now we have to do, or, like, what's up?
Well, there's another. I think they're kind of like Dandy, another bee. And there's bad people here on this train that have them hostage. We need to release them. I don't know exactly where on the train they're going to be.
Okay.
Um,
So they're not here. So we have to figure out how to get in the next car then.
okay, before we move on to that, I have decided as your GM that your eyes have adjusted, and I would like everybody to roll an investigation check for me.
Okay.
It's a terrible. Wow. The worst score. You said
One?
investigation?
I did.
11.
18.
Great.
Natural 20.
Excellent.
Yes, for the new dice.
And Yume?
14.
Okay. Winnie, you're the first one that notices this. You're the first one that notices that that it's almost like there's a, you know what it looks like when a beam of light is coming in through a window, but you're not quite sure what direction it's coming from. That's what seems to be happening across the very center of this car. And it catches your attention because you're rehearsing, and you look at it a little closer and you realize it's not a beam of light. It's just a strip of wood in the floor, this nice wooden floor that's just slightly lighter than all of the wood around it. And Freya, you notice this as you go to step across it. You stop and you look and you see it. I think you'll probably note. What did Battle roll? Sorry.
11.
Great. You'd probably catch everybody else. You see everybody else stopping, and by everybody I mean Winnie and Freya stopping to look at this strip of wood. So you'd stop, and Battle, I think, is intelligent enough to also be like, yes, I see things are happening, and you hold still. So we're gonna say you don't walk around the car. That you notice this piece of light wood across the floor before you walk around the car. But what you do notice on this side of the car is that the benches are raised, and they've got 4 feet each. And there's nothing underneath them, it doesn't look like, on your side of the car. Now what do you do?
I want to get down really close to the piece of wood and see if there are like any marks, or if it looks like there's anything around it, like it could be pried up or pushed down, or if there's any like symbols.
Yeah, so you're going to investigate this. And I want you to give me an Arcana check, please.
I'll cast light to brighten things up if that helps see
Yeah.
any better.
I'll give you advantage.
It's a natural
on
one.
I'm going to give you advantage on your Arcana check
Great.
because of this friendly light that you may cast.
It's a 10.
You're not able to get a really good look. You're not quite sure what you're looking at here. It just looks like a piece of wood currently. Does anybody else want to give it a go?
Winnie
Yes.
can take a look too.
Winnie, go ahead and roll me. Can you roll me just a straight investigation check because you're not
Yep.
super magical.
That is 16.
You can tell that this piece of wood is actually slightly raised from the rest of the floor. All the way from from one side of the car to the other. And that indicates to you that this might be something like a trap. Now, Battle, did you want to
Like a trap or a trap door?
like a trap? Because it's a very thin piece of wood. It's like maybe half an inch across.
Interesting. I'm going to relay that to the rest of the group.
All right. What else are we doing? Anybody doing anything else? What's next?
Why would the caboose be trapped? This is a business.
Well, you said there are bad people on this train. If there are bad people on this train that have trapped people, like, if I was a bad person on a train who was keeping someone captive, I would totally set up traps.
That's fair, but I don't think they own the train. I think they're just hiding on it.
Is there a way to
Maybe
tell what the
whole
trap
train
does?
system is more nefarious than we thought.
Oh no.
Sorry, I heard Freya say the whole train system is more nefarious than we thought, and Battle, I didn't hear what you said. Can you repeat that, please?
Is there a way we could tell what the trap does before any of us were to attempt to trigger it or avoid it?
Yes, it will take investigating with Arcana. I don't think you've done a check yet. Do you want to go ahead and do an Arcana check for me?
Sure. Come on, Dice, you can do it. Okay. 16?
You can tell that this trap it is a trap, and it has a weird mix of magic in it. That's there's a bit of divination and there's a bit of transformation magic in here. You would imagine that this feels like an alarm trap with a twist. You're not quite sure what the twist is.
Nobody touch it. It's gonna make
Okay.
everybody know we're here.
Wendy's gonna like whip her hand back that was absolutely reaching for it.
And would you mind doing a check as well? So I don't think you've done one yet.
Sure.
Go ahead and do Arcana or Investigation. You've got the same score in either, so go ahead and do.
Also checking out the trap, trying to figure out what it does, or something else.
Yeah, checking out the trap.
Okay.
I think it makes sense that you'd all kind of like look at it from your different angles. I don't think Yume would just be like, "Oh, yes, a trap," and then stare at the wall.
Ooh, that's good.
What do you got?
I don't have Arcana or Investigation, so that is just.
You do. You have
21.
You have a +2 in Arcana and a +2 in
do?
Investigation. You're not proficient in that.
Oh,
but
sorry,
you
no,
do
that's
have-
my intelligence. Yeah, I'm not proficient in it.
Yeah, that's okay though. So
21.
okay, perfect. You can tell that the magic is imbued in that piece of wood, and that piece of wood goes across the floor from wall to wall, but it doesn't go up the walls. So you would imagine that you can actually just walk across the benches and it won't trigger this trap.
Oh, I'm so glad Yume is smarter than Jaden, because I was just going to say, hey, why don't we just jump over it? But stepping on the benches sounds a lot easier.
Yep. Do you share this?
Oh, Yes, we can.
information?
I don't know exactly what it's going to do, but we don't want to trigger it if it is nefarious. So let's walk on those.
Actually, with a 21, I'll also say that you sense a weird amount of pink with this trap. So you think maybe it'll set off an alarm, but also maybe mark you guys in some way as
I
having
sense
set off.
pink.
It's
Yep.
like when you pull a fire alarm and like you get that fluorescent stuff on your hands.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's a thing. Cool.
It is to tell. It's because to keep kids from pulling fire alarms.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are the worst. You're not kids. You're not the worst.
So just leap up onto a bench and start walking across it.
All right. So these benches are not the most stable benches in the world. So I'm going to need either an acrobatics or an athletics check from everybody. Whichever's better.
I'm loving the amount of rolling today.
Yeah, sorry. If it's too much, I'll just let me know.
No, I'm pleased. Happy.
19 from Winnie.
Great.
She's getting used to the dress.
She sure is.
15.
Athletics.
Great.
13? Do I need to roll for shy?
No, unless it's interesting to the story, I'm not going to have you roll for shy.
Okay.
She's mostly a combat thing.
11.
Okay. All right, so you all make it across the bench to the other side of the caboose car. That is excellent. You do not appear to have set off any alarms. Everything appears to be the same. It's rather anticlimactic, actually. Yeah, you entered this caboose car, you started to walk forward, you saw this nice piece of wood, you stopped, you investigated, oh, it's a trap, oh, how do we get around? You walked over a bench, you're on the other side, and, well, you're on the other side now. So, it's about 6:30. So we've been at this for about an hour. How about we take a quick break, rather? Does that sound all right? I should probably take the dogs out. So, 5-10 minute break?
Sure.
Sounds good.
10, please.
Okay, 10 it is. We'll be back here at 6:40 Pacific Standard Time, or just 10 minutes from now. I'll probably hop back
Sounds
into
great.
chat a little bit earlier than 10 minutes. I'm going to put up... I'm vamping, so I can find the right screen. I'm going to put up our Be Right Back screen, and we will indeed be right back in 10 minutes. So, stream. See you in a bit. Hello, stream. We're live. Oh no, my web
no.
captions are gone. Oh, let me try and fix that. That's terrible.
Darn you, slobs!
I don't know what that means. I wonder if I can get a new link. Can I? This is terrible. I've never had this happen before. What's happening? Yes, expire now. Get link. Give me new link. I've been talking about how good this is all day. Literally. All day.
It is good. It is a good service.
There, it's
but
back. All right.
tech is weird.
Tech is weird. Okay, sorry. Now I have my captions back. Hello, stream. We're back. Before we jump back into things, I have a question for the players. Do you remember a little while ago when I was talking about using a deck of wonder if anybody rolled a 7?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so I have a deck of wonder, and what I did when I was flipping through the cards, I realized that there were really three things. There were things that could happen that are bad, and there are things that could happen that are good, and then there are things that just happen. And so I've sorted them into 3 piles because it makes my brain feel better. So what I'm thinking is I'll make the call on whether it needs to be a thing that should be good, or whether it should just be a thing that happens, or whether it should be a bad thing, depending on where the 7 shows up. Are you all amenable to this?
Yes, this sounds
Yes.
super fun.
I'm
Sounds
excited.
intriguing.
Now, so 3 of you were right on board. You do not have to be on board. This is something I was going to position to you. If you'd like to see what happens with the other 3, I can just do it on theirs. And if you're like, yeah, no, I totally want in on that, great. And if anybody at any point's like, I hate this, let me know and I'll stop it immediately. This just might be interesting, is all I was thinking.
So it's just a matter of, depending on what's going on in the scene, if you as the DM decide we need a little more tension, then you'll pull from the bad deck.
I'm thinking more, if you roll a 7, then I'm going to pull from the deck. If you roll a 7 on a check that is against an enemy NPC, I might draw a card on behalf of the NPC. If you roll a check, you roll a 7 somewhere else that I think it would be good to give you a boost, I'll roll from or I'll pull from the deck that gives you a boost. If I think it would just be amusing for a pile of puppies to show up, I can pull from that deck, because that is one of the cards, by the way.
Okay. I'm down for it. Is this whenever we roll a natural 7?
Yes, natural 7. Somebody's. Oh, it looks like I'm gonna need new links from everybody. No, I've got. So sorry. Yume's web captions are showing up fine. Battle, can you talk for a moment?
Fine, we're working.
Okay,
I
Freya's
sure
are good.
can. I tested them myself with the dual mute situation, and it is not.
Battles aren't
Updating.
working. Winnie, can you talk for a minute? So Winnie's captions are working, but her mic is muted, so that's great. Okay, so Battle, go to Web Captioner. Click on the radio
I
tower.
expired it and am recreating it and sending it right now.
Well, aren't you just a star? Okay, let me find it.
There's a reason they called me the IT of my grad program
Perfect.
class.
All right, let's see if this fixes it. Stop that. Give it. All right, try that.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
It's still not coming through. You sure your mic's not muted somewhere in the software or something? No, that doesn't work.
Yep, because I see it on my web captioner.
Huh.
It says I have. It currently says I have no viewers on the new link.
Was it
Let
the
me make sure I-
broadcast one and not the other?
No, it's the
Yep.
broadcast one.
Yep, the most recent one I just shared is the one that is currently working.
I'm changing a setting. Let's see if that helps. Can you go ahead and say stuff? Sorry, stream.
Say stuff.
It's still not working.
I'll close
Ah.
it and then I'll expire them, restart Chrome, and then do it again.
Okay. While you're doing that, Yume, what are you thinking about with the cards? You want to go ahead and use them or hold off?
I'm totally fine with that.
Okay. All right. Battle, go ahead and let me know when you've got something that I can go look for a link and stream. I apologize about that. If I'll try and repeat whatever Battle's saying. For captions. Okay, so you all find yourself in a car. A train car. No, I'm not gonna be able to move each of you. That's annoying. Can you just be the bottom layer? And then, can I lock it?
Is it the part of the thing where you mute me on Discord?
Mute you on Discord. Nope, you're not muted on Discord. Web Captioner just hates me today. It's pulling up the right box. I'm gonna do something odd really quickly. I'm gonna pull in another browser source from a different stream. Yes, I know it's big, sorry. I'm gonna come here. Come here. Let me just see if I can get it to work in this one and I can just resize this real quick. Go ahead and say something.
Something?
Alright, well.
Both showed up.
Yep. Alright, let's get rid of this one for now. See if it'll... Streamlabs, obey me. Thank you. Alright! We had to threaten Web Captioner with a new box and then it suddenly started working again. So, folks at home, that's how you make Web Captioner do what you want, is threaten it with a new box, I guess. Whatever. Alright. So y'all are on the other side of the car. You've just successfully navigated a trap. You've made it to the other side. What you see is on this door, instead of a drawing of the what looked like someone's head with their cheeks puffed out, blowing out wind and flowy hair and flowy beard, is actually a metal. It looks like a it's not a statue, it's just like a metal piece like embedded in the door, and two of the two tendrils from the beard are looped up and around as if it would hold something, and underneath it is a plate, and the metal is a silver metal, like a gray metal. What do you do?
Like a nameplate rectangle.
No, it's part of the whole piece. It almost roll me a. Let's have everybody roll me a wisdom check again. Just use that for a second to look at this thing.
Natural 20 again.
Excellent.
Yes, metal dice.
Well, it's a nat 7.
Great.
That's exciting. I got to-
Cool.
And you said investigation?
I said wisdom.
Wisdom. So then I would have 11 technically, but it's a nat 7 roll.
Mm-hmm. 8. And Elizabeth, what did you? Or sorry. Freya, what did you get? 17. Okay.
What a lovely tactile sound.
Mm-hmm.
Makes my fingers tingle.
So I'm looking for one. I'm looking for one that's not combat related. So I may change this to just be a combat thing. All right, you ready? You have summoned a tiny desert tortoise to your aid. She is your companion for life and is very eager to help you. So all of a sudden, at your feet is a tiny desert tortoise, and it's tiny. It's like the size of your hand, and she's looking up at you, and you know without a shadow of a doubt that tortoise, will do anything for you. And Shaya's like, "What the hell is this?" And she sticks her nose right in the turtle's face, and the turtle sticks its head right in her face, and they are clearly the best of friends, and Shy's tail is going, and if you're not careful, this might turn into a ruckus.
Okay, I picked the turtle up right away. Quiet, I know. Relax.
And Shy sits and is like very attentively looking at the turtle.
Now I have to name something else again.
Yep, or it dies.
Ah, I have a whole week, right?
Yep.
Come on, little turtle. I guess we're gonna adventure now together. I don't know what I did to earn you, but boy, are we glad you're here.
Yeah, she just pops into existence. Like it's not even a. There's not even a. Actually, there is. There's a noise because that's a thing in this world. So I'm just gonna blame it on that. And it just appears next to you, and it's small enough that you could stick it in a pocket. In case you wanted to stick it in a
Have
pocket.
any idea why this turtle is here? Or
You
like
don't.
That it's
No.
okay?
You have no idea.
It only took us getting into the second arc for the Ismena weirdness to really kick off.
I waited. I really did. I waited to see if y'all wanted to keep playing, because remember we talked about maybe just doing that first arc and maybe we'd go our separate ways or whatever. I wanted to see if you guys would keep playing, and then I would introduce you to all the weird. There's all kinds of shit in this world. It's highly entertaining. Okay.
I want to turn to the party and just say, okay, it looks like we're gonna have to watch out for magically appearing animal companions. I guess this turtle's for me.
Did that metal air face do it?
I don't know.
You don't know. Really
Maybe
quick.
let's try doing whatever we all just did again. What was everybody doing?
So you're all looking at the metal thing on the door. Now, I heard a nat 20 from Winnie. What did Freya roll?
7.
That's right. And Yume, you rolled an 8.
Yes.
So Winnie, you immediately know what this is, and Freya's right on your heels. It's a door knocker, but it's missing the ring that you would normally find in a door knocker, and that metal plate on the underneath it is where you knock the door, and it doesn't have a hand. Like, the door doesn't have a handle at all. It's just the door knocker missing the ring.
Is there a door knocker? Roof? A train? Also, how
The
big
turtle?
is the, like, ring, the hole that it's in the ring?
Like, what's the diameter?
Labyrinth vibes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Along here.
Is the turtle the same size? Could I knock down the door with the turtle? Maybe the turtle was the replacement?
Hook the shell over the
You're
turned out parts of the Mustang.
you're more than welcome to try.
She could hold on if she's my. Is the turtle smart enough to know to hold on?
No, she's not. The flavor text on the card, by the way, says every little bit helps, I guess. Which I find very entertaining.
So she's just really there. She's like my vanity turtle.
Yeah. Did you ever listen to The Adventure Zone?
Not yet. It's on my list.
Okay. Well, when you listen to it, the tortoise shows up in a different form there, basically. I won't ruin it for you.
Work aside.
All right, so you're standing in front of this door. Winnie and Freya, you immediately know it's a door knocker. Freya, you asked what the diameter of like the rings would be. It looks like you could like set a ring in there. It would be about 6 inches in diameter, the ring itself, and I think the thickness would be like maybe a quarter of an inch. I'm gonna say, making stuff up so hard right now.
Okay. That seems reasonable.
Okay. What are you guys doing? Are you talking about this?
So this train is really weird. There's traps in the caboose
Mhm.
and a door with no handle and a door knocker on the inside of an employee area. This is more than I thought it was going to be.
I told you the train company is kind of very pissed off.
It's okay. Yume, it's okay. We're gonna figure this out. Clearly, your friend doesn't belong here. If there's a trap in the caboose, this is only gonna get worse. That's why we're here.
Do we still want to check what's in the next car other than, passengers coming in?
Well, we'd have to be able to get to this door that doesn't have the ability to be able to open it. I would like to cast Detect Magic.
Great. Yes, do that. This takes like 10 minutes, right?
I can cast it as a ritual, then I don't have to use a spell slot.
Oh, but you're gonna use a spell slot. Yeah, that's fine.
No, I'll just take 10 minutes. I'll be like, okay guys, I know we're gonna encounter. So I'm gonna hang out on this. I like climb back up on the bench. And,
Okay.
Start ritually casting Detect Magic.
What does this look like for Freya? Is she like pulling pieces of lightning out of her hair, or like how does she?
So she's like sitting cross-legged on the bench.
Mhm.
She like pulls some stuff out of this like component pouch, and she's got this little like focus thing that she's got going on. But it's a lot of just like closing her eyes and then like muttering and then opening her eyes, and things aren't going exactly the way that she wants it to. It's like really this only took her 4 minutes, but it's going to take her a solid 10. Because she doesn't really like doing ritual casting. It takes time and like a lot more sustained concentration, and that's just hard.
Yeah, it is hard. Yeah.
But there's
Okay.
lots of lightning involved.
All right. As you're doing this, can everybody tell me what their passive perceptions are?
Mine is 14.
Okay.
Mine is 15.
Okay.
Mine is 60.
Okay.
9, 10.
All right. So, Battle and Winnie, you hear somebody talking in the next room.
I'm definitely gonna listen to that as hard as I can.
All right.
I'm also gonna tell Shy to. Well, how much language does she have?
Shy?
Would she be able to listen just in case I can't hear?
No, no. She's just a dog. Yeah.
Okay.
She's a very
Not
cute
listening
dog.
hard.
Yeah. Winnie.
And now interested in my pocket.
Yeah. Super interested. Not like I want to eat it, more like I want to be best friends with it. Yeah.
But at our next log rest, I'm gonna sew a little turtle saddle. That's for sure.
Winnie, what are you doing? You want to listen in on this?
Yes.
All right. Can you both roll me a perception check real quick?
At this point, are we using active or passive?
Active.
24.
Okay.
Well,
Okay. So Winnie, you hear this pretty clearly, and Battle. This is gonna be a little more difficult for you to hear. Winnie, what you hear is. "God, why we gotta do this? You shouldn't have agreed to this. Come on. Come on, Gus. You're supposed to think these things through." And you hear another voice go, "I know. She made eyes at me." And you hear the other guy go, "You gotta stop making decisions based on whether somebody bats their eyes at you. You can bring her a book. This is stupid. We got stuff to do. You know I'm gonna get in trouble if I'm not on the door." And you hear the other guy go, "I know. Can you just help me look?" And you hear shifting boxes around, and the first guy's muttering a bunch and be like, I better not get in trouble because of you. And I know, I'm sorry. Just help me move this. And then they're like, "Oh, okay, got it. Well, let's get back through here." And then you hear a silence, and then you hear the first guy go, "Seriously? You lost your ring?" You know how much trouble you're gonna get into for losing your ring? And the voice is going up, so the volume's going up, so Battle can hear this now too, and you hear him say, "Gus, I swear to God, if you can't find that ring, if we have to use the emergency ring, that's gonna be 500 gold to replace that one ring, because you can only use it one time. Come on, get this open. You remember how to open this one? Come on, get it. Oh, you found it. Well, I'm not gonna let you borrow mine. Good thing you found it, because all right, let's get through here." So, you hear some doors opening and closing, and they're gone. And the last thing you hear is the guy saying, "You're useless, Gus. I am not helping you anymore. I can't believe you put me through this. I swear to God," like lots of grumbling.
So, those rings are worth 500 gold?
What rings were they talking about?
Maybe it's the door thing? Maybe it's the door knocker. Maybe it's what they use to get from cabin to cabin in this train. But clearly, each employee has one. And there's only an emergency one. So, where's the emergency one?
What an interesting thought. And you say this out loud?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay. Does anybody have a response to this lovely question Battle has asked?
We will have to find it. And if the people on this train, running this train, are nefarious, then I don't feel so bad about taking it out of their pockets.
All right.
Am I still? Not past yet. So I'm still like not hearing anything I'm saying. I'm just focused on.
No, you're just concentrating. Yeah. I'll say maybe 5 or 6 minutes has passed.
I think there's an emergency ring on this car, since it's the extras car anyway.
Look around for one.
All right. You're gonna look around for one.
Yep.
Are you gonna look around on this side of the car or the other side of the car?
Why not both? But dodging the lever?
I'll take
Yep.
one side, you take the other.
Okay.
That sounds wise.
Which of you is taking which side?
I will take the south side.
This side?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a dex save to see if you make it across the benches. All right.
Too bad, 16.
Yeah, you're fine. And Battle, you're gonna look on this side.
Yep.
Okay. Winnie, go ahead and roll me an investigation check, and Battle, go ahead and roll me an investigation check. And Yume, are you helping? Oh, you just lit up. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna tell them, like, check underneath the benches. Hopefully there's no gum under there.
Gross.
I got a 16 again.
Got it. Okay. And Battle, what'd you get?
I'm replacing my dice because that wasn't enough.
You rolled a nat 1.
Plus 4.
Shy won't leave you.
Am I doing senses?
You're doing an investigation check, so you're doing whatever you roll plus.
Action.
Yeah.
Guess you were just too distracted by your tortoise.
Well, I was gonna say I think Shy probably won't leave the tortoise alone, so you have to keep telling her like sit, 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 leave it. And she's just distracting you. Winnie, on your side of the car, you notice that there are two sort of decorative inlays on either side of the door that are square. They've got the square looks like 4 different smaller squares connected by straight pieces of other wood, and all of it is raised. Is what you notice on your side.
I'm gonna try and like feel it to see if there's like a way to open it.
Yeah, so you do that, and you don't notice anything here, but you also realize that there isn't a door knocker on this side.
Well, that's true, but that's the side of
That's true. You assume that maybe if there are decorations like this on the other side of the car, and you turn around and you look over your shoulder and you see there are indeed decorations like this on the other side of the car, what you're looking for might be over there.
I'm going to point that out to Battle and Freya anyway.
So Freya, about this time is when you start paying attention. Is about when Winnie's like, thanks. What does Winnie say?
I'm just gonna say, look, there's these things here, but they don't do anything. Do they do anything on that side?
So, at this point, have I finished casting Detect Magic? So
Yes.
I'll be able to see things that are magical
Yes.
within about 30 feet, including, like, through the sides of the caboose, assuming that it is not lined with lead, so I can potentially see things that are magical in the car in front of us as well.
Yes. So the way that I deal with magic in Azinlia is I can't for the life of me remember anything about divination, transformation, or whatever magic. And so I tell you kind of what it feels like, and I use colors a lot.
Things better.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah. So what you sense about the door knocker is that it's
The door knocker is magical.
yeah. You sense that when whatever about it is activated, there's a movement associated with that. This is familiar to you for like magical locks and things. It'll unlock the door basically. In the next car, you see all kinds of magical stuff, and it all seems to be stacked on top of each other in weird and disjointed in ways. And you know that that's the cargo car. So obviously, some of the passengers have magical-ish stuff. All the colors of the rainbow.
Can I see, is the door like by where Winnie is that's magical, and is the like piece of wood trap thing, is that well,
Yes, the magic trap thing is definitely glowing. You don't see anything around Winnie's pieces of wood, and you don't see anything emanating from the pieces of wood to either side of the door.
is the door the like mid space of the door that we saw coming in?
Mhm.
Is that glowing?
No.
Okay. So I share what I know with everybody.
Okay.
So I've determined that there are magic things, guys, and that is this is all the information. So definitely still don't step on the trap. Because probably
I'm glad we didn't touch anything yet.
But I think we need to figure out how to make the like door knocker thing work if we want to move through. The other option is like once the train is moving, we could go out the back of the caboose and then try and climb over the top of the train and see if we can get in. But we didn't do a great recon to figure out if any of the other trains have like hatches on the tops, with doors. Does this caboose have a hatch on the top of it?
It does
No?
not.
Sometimes. Okay, cool.
Yes, I do know what you mean. Like a hatch in the ceiling. Yeah, this one does not.
Like school buses.
Yes, or like trains.
I think Battle would want to ask for do you see anything in the shape of a ring? Like a 6-inch diameter circle?
And Freya, you do not see anything 6 inches in diameter in a circle.
That is a bummer. I don't see anything in the front car or the car in front of us either.
No.
I mean, I realize that there's a lot of stuff stacked. Okay.
You see much smaller circles that you could imagine are rings and things.
What about the square things on the walls? Do they come off? Are they cabinets?
So, detect magic is like a general way of looking at things. Do you also want to investigate stuff? Because it is in the there's general magic, and then there's also finer magics as well. Just as a thing. So do you want to?
Minor magic, do you mean I wouldn't notice that they're magic until I go up and I look at them and I investigate them?
Potentially, yeah. And that's something you would know as a caster. So this would be a situation where you might assume you'd need to get a closer look at stuff.
Yeah, I think I definitely want to go over and get a picture of whatever was on the walls.
On her
and just
side?
Kind of like, I want to start on my side.
Okay.
Just kind of meticulously look around and see, like, look, check underneath the benches and stuff. And there's not like attached to the bottom of the bench.
Mhm.
Generally, just kind of like looking around.
So roll me an investigation check, and I'll give you an advantage on it because Winnie specifically called your attention to the wooden decorations on either side of the door.
I got a nat 20.
Well, fine then. You notice. That's excellent. You notice that the decorations on either side of the door are flush with the wall that they're on. They're just different color woods, except for the corner pieces that are also tinier squares. Each of those corner pieces is raised about, I'll say, a quarter of an inch. And you notice on the one on the right hand side that the top square, the top right square, sorry, these are also diamonds. They're not squares like a box. They're diamonds on either side of the door. So you notice that the top point is a little bit like further out from the wall than the other 3 points.
Okay. Is that over on my side or over on my side?
Your side.
I go up and just like kind of poke at them / pull at them to see if they come loose or they move at all.
Yeah, so when you poke it, it slides in, and it's the same depth as the other 4. And when you pull it, it actually pulls out about an inch, and you hear a little click.
Okay. Any of the other ones?
Describe to me how you look at this. Please refer to them as the top point is north, the right point is east, the bottom point is south, and the left point is west.
Okay. Which one was pushed out?
The north one.
Okay. So I'm gonna try and push in the south one.
Okay. The south one doesn't move in at all.
Can I pull it out?
It also doesn't seem to pull out.
Does the east one push in or out?
Yes, you're able to pull that one out as well, and it pulls out, and there's a click.
Okay, so I leave that one pulled out, and then I look over to see if the west one will pull out.
It does not.
Can I check the south one again?
This time, when you check the south one, it does pull out.
Cool. Now I want to check the west one. See if it can pull out.
The west one now pulls out as well.
They're all four pulled out.
As you get the last, the west one pulled out, the center of this diamond, because remember, each of the points is a piece of wood, and then each of the sides is another longer piece of wood, long thin piece of wood, which leaves another square, diamond of wood in the middle of it. That pops out on and it stays attached on the west to south edge. And it opens, and inside you see a crystal ring.
Dope. I take it out without putting it on very carefully, and I'm like, "Hey guys,
It's like a
ring."
bangle. It's like a bracelet. It's about 6 inches in diameter.
Me the size of that should go in the door knocker.
It's exactly the size that should go in the door knocker.
Right. So I pull it out very carefully, and I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm assuming I have no idea that what they like overheard earlier because I was really focused on this. So I have no idea that anyone was even really particularly looking for a ring.
Mhm.
I just got really focused on trying to get the most out of my detect magic spell.
Sure.
And so I turned around and I'm like, found it.
I did it. I found a ring.
You need claps for you. Not too
Yeah,
loud.
I'm really excited. And I like paused long enough that like if anybody is like, hey, don't do that, I will hear them. But then I immediately turn back around
Okay.
and try and like fit the door knocker into the
Is anybody gonna say something?
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, bless how cautious you three are.
I do just this like pause of like this 4-year-old or like a dog with a treat on their nose. Like they're like you can just see me vibrating with energy because I'm so excited to just like turn around.
I'm just gonna put it on the door knocker right in a minute.
Nobody can know immediately, and that is all the permission I need to turn around and like fit the ring into the door knocker.
I think during that time, I certainly don't stop her, but I also turn to Winnie and I'm like, she found it.
Wendy's gonna give a thumbs up and then try and make her way back over
The benches.
benches to the other side.
Yep. Roll me another dex check.
Oh man. Better go well.
Your dice have been fairly nice to you, knock on wood.
That's a natural 19, so.
Oh, you're fine. You're skipping. This is great. Okay, so Freya, when you put the ring in the door knocker, do you like you have to do this thing where if this is the door knocker, the way that the beard is curled up to hold the ring, you have to put the ring in at the top, like angled down into it, and then pull it down for it to hang correctly. You could also just let it drop and it'll drop right in there. What does Freya do?
I like set it in and I like hold on to it.
Okay.
Carefully put it into the like correct position.
All right. You have done so. Nothing has changed. That pocket on the wall is still open, and all of the corners are pulled out a little bit further than their fellows, and you're all standing in front of this door with this door knocker.
So I recommend that everybody like move to the sides, and then I like use the door knocker to knock on the door 3 times.
Okay.
Can you recommend we move? Is it? Hold on a second.
Mhm.
Is there another diamond formation on the opposite side of the door?
Yes.
Can we check if that does anything?
Yeah. Go ahead and investigate that for me.
Nat 1 or 3. I poke it once. Like, nope, that one's just inner, no buttons, no levers.
Yep. Yep. I think maybe Shy's butt like hits you in the knee and distracts you as you're. Shy's just gonna be our nat 1 consequences forever.
Poor Popo. She'll
I'm
get
sorry.
comfortable this time.
My puppy ruins everything, so Shy's gonna embody this. Oh no, I switched. Okay. All right. Do you want to do anything else before Freya knocks on the door?
I think I would want to say to Freya, like, hey, we're gonna need to bring that with us. So once you're done knocking, be sure to take that.
Oh, I am super excited about my find, and I will be taking it with me as much as I possibly can.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Okay. Sorry, I was writing. Okay. So Freya.
You're just like excited. Like, let's go to the next group.
Okay, so Freya, you pick up the crystal ring and you knock it on the door, and as you do that, it shatters, and the door in front of you opens, and the door across from you into the next car also opens. And and from your detect magic spell, you know that these doors are going to close momentarily.
Okay. So I like as the door starts to open, I see the door like I kind of duck down just instinctively, but then I like whisper to everyone like you need to move like now, and I move forward without doing anything else.
Great. What's everybody else doing?
We're gonna follow.
Dashing through.
Okay.
Dashing through the train.
All right. Shy is on your heels. Become a terrain layer, and then
Is this in
become.
between passage exposed to the outside,
Locked.
or is that a covered? Like,
It's an exposed passage on the outside. So you step from one. It's just it's not even a hop. You literally step from one platform outside the door to the other, and as you get into the next car, the door closes behind you.
Wow.
And
So can we see momentarily into the next car as well?
yes.
Does any... what can we see and who, if anyone notices?
Everybody, roll me a perception check.
Oh my god, nat 20 again.
Keep those dice.
Yes, nice.
21.
Great.
Bring it down 19.
Awesome.
8.
Cool. This car also has no windows. There's also a door at the other end. The door you just walked through looks identical to the door that you just walked through. They both have door knockers on them that are missing the rings. They're both made out of this gray metal. The car is full of packages. Not packages. Like trunks and boxes and whatever suitcases are.
Luggage car.
It's a luggage car, and there's crates mixed in. There's from floor to ceiling on both sides. There are trunks everywhere, trunks and packages and boxes and bales and bags and all kinds of stuff. Now, Winnie and Battle, you notice that there's some have been sort of dislodged over. Here, if we're looking at the car from the top down, it's the bottom left-hand corner, closest to the door. There's been some trunks and boxes moved, and you remember hearing Gus and Gil coming in here to look for a book or something, and like rummaging around. So you assume that's where they did this. It's really dark in here. It's hard for you to see anything, and so you're seeing all the luggage and stuff, but you're not getting quite the same detail as everybody else.
But we can tell that there's, like... Am I able to see at least that the opposite door is closed?
Yes.
Anyone else in here?
Correct.
Okay, then I'll cast light.
Okay. It becomes much easier for you to see. There are trunks and bags of all shapes and sizes. You can tell that in the bottom left-hand corner and in the top right left-hand corner, those bags and trunks seem to be of a nicer quality. The bags and boxes that you're standing next to at the other end of the car, at the right end of the car, these are less good. They're more travel worn. They're more utilitarian, less froofy. You're getting some weird colors at the of trunks and stuff at the top left and the bottom left. You can see the same wall decorations on either side of the door in this car.
The weird colors, do you mean like blend in the color of their luggage, or weird colors
Yeah.
in tech magic?
No, weird colors in the color of their luggage. So like the luggage around you is like brown and black and gray, and the luggage up at the other end of the car is like bright pink and weird green edges, and there's some there's clearly like gold inlay and like who's up, and handbags and stupid stuff. Who knows?
I'd like to look at the floor and see if I notice any of the other, like, if there's a similar kind of trap from the last part?
Roll me an investigation check.
Cool. 18.
So it's very well lit in here. You don't see any of the, you don't see, the wood all seems to be the same in here.
Okay. Is detect magic still going?
It is. Now, you're seeing more magical objects in the luggage from on the left side of the cabin, or of the car. The luggage that seems to be for more affluent humans or persons, rather, and they're less. It's not like an X-ray. It's more like you can tell. So some of the luggage is protected, so there might be magical locks similar to the lock that you just opened. It feels kind of like that. One in the buried deep in the back corner, you see something that's like an angry red. That's probably a weapon of some kind. You see some gentle, faint, sort of greenish glows that would imply like some sort of food type things or Healy type things. You can catch the oddly reflective auras of like potions and things like that. You see some health potions, some virility potions and things. Your typical stuff. You don't see anything really that stands out.
Okay.
A lot of
We don't see any more of the like wood shapes that I got the.
You do. You do see the same decorations on either side of the door. I will note that the ring that you used was not magical, and the box that it was in was not magical either. It was all a mechanical trap.
Oh.
Just
Okay.
for the record,
Cool.
specifically.
So I would like to go up to the spaces
Mhm.
and do the same thing I did last time. So pull out like north. South.
So when you start to try and tug on they don't move at all.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Do they push in at all?
They don't.
Okay. I go over. There's one on each side, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to do the same thing to the
The
other side.
bottom left. Yeah. Same thing. The pieces don't seem to pop out or push in. I will note that there are door. I will note that there's 4 of them in here, one on either side of each door on either end of the car.
Okay.
I
I
would
will
another
run.
one on my side.
Okay. Winnie, you notice that they also don't pull or push in, and you'd seen what Freya had done. You try and mimic that, and they don't seem to pull or push in. Yep. The corner pieces are. Freya, can you go ahead and roll me an investigation check on the let's say you go to back to the top left one.
Yeah, I got a 17.
Okay. So if you're looking at the diamond and we're talking about northeast, southwest, between the west point and the north point, that strip of wood that is part of the edges is shifted down a little bit. You can see a little bit of a gap.
Can I try and pull it back into place?
Yes, it slides right back into place, and you can feel a little bit of a click.
Now I want to try and pull it up.
Sorry, typing. So you're going to try and slide it back. So it slides back, but you feel an odd sort of tension. So when you pull it back, when you slide it back and then you let go, it pops back into place.
The piece of wood that I took.
Yeah, the long piece of wood seems to and it pulls from the north to the west point. So you're pulling away from the north point down towards the west point. And as you pull it down, you can start all the way up by the north point and pull it all the way down by the west point. And you can see a gap underneath it, but if you let go, it pops right back into place. That makes sense?
So first, yeah, I think so. So first, I look at trying to hold it in place and see if the north will pull out.
Yes. That does not happen. You
That's pretty cool.
yeah, it stays still.
So I want to keep looking around and see like when that I can pull it down and there's like a gap. Is there anything like noticeable about this gap? Does it look like this is a piece of wood that is like supposed to shift like it's part of a puzzle, or does this look like a piece of wood that like got knocked out of place? It's not supposed to be there?
It appears intentional.
Okay. When I move it like up, I move it like back and forth a little bit and see if there's anything I notice about the wood itself or anything else that's either like before or after the flip.
It slides very smoothly, and it's a little odd that it was actually every time you let go and it pops back into place. There's never that gap that you saw. It's a little odd that you saw that gap, because every time you do it, and you do it a couple of times, it pops right back into place, no matter how far down you pull it from. Do you check any of the other pieces? Does anybody else want to
Yeah, so I tell everybody what's going on and I ask them to like check the other pieces around to see if they're noticing anything weird, like if there's any other like gaps or weird out of pieces anywhere else.
Okay. Does anybody want to do that? I could ask you to do some rolls.
Was Winnie at the one on the opposite side of the door from
So Winnie is on the right-hand side of the car. So Freya's in the top left. Winnie, I'll say you're in the top right.
Like, right.
But okay, Battle, you want to come over to bottom left? You can give me a thumbs up if you need to keep things muted. You're nodding. Great. Can you all roll me another? Can Battle, Winnie, and Freya? No. Ugh. Can Battle, Winnie, and Yume all roll me an investigation check, please, with advantage, because you know you're looking for something.
You said investigation with
Advantage.
advantage.
Which means you roll twice, you take the higher number, and then you add whatever your modifier is.
21.
Great.
I needed that. Avoided a nat 1 with the advantage. Taking it.
Great.
22.
Great.
If Reyes
Ba-
is explaining what she's doing and kind of try to simulate the action that she's, the direction she pulled from.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where. Okay, so you may. I'll go around in a circle. So, Winnie, you notice that the straight pieces the straight piece you're looking at between the north and the west point, has what looks like scratches on it. But when you try to slide it, it doesn't move. And it doesn't seem like it would ever have moved. It doesn't seem stuck. It just seems like it's one piece of, like an inlay. But you do notice those scratches. Yume, when you pull when you try to slide the long side of between the north and the west point, you can actually get it down. You see the exact same behavior that Freya is seeing. And Battle, you notice similar scratches to the north and west point. To the long piece of wood between the north and west point. You also notice that it almost looks like something has chewed on the north point. Like very faintly. Almost seems like it's been chewed on. It's very strange.
So
What's Shy doing about this? Is she interested at all, or is she still dinking around with the turtle, the tortoise? Is she sniffing?
So
the blood,
you-
or is she licking
so her-
paw? Like,
Yeah, so you called her to task quite firmly in the caboose, and she's picked up that she needs to be very, very well behaved. So she's right next to you, and she's staying close to you, but she's not getting in your way. So she's kind of practicing that right now. And she's sniffing, but she's a dog. She's always sniffing. She doesn't seem to be pulling in a particular direction.
so she's not interested in this one.
Mm-mm. And it's very,
I'll share the information with the party, but it seems strange that it's been.
yeah, it's high up on the wall. It's about head height. That's a dumb thing to say. It's about 5 feet up the wall. I say that's a dumb thing to say because I think Yume is shorter, and I think Winnie is taller. So like 5 feet is what I'm gonna say.
So I bring the chewing side effects.
The what?
I don't know if you can hear my puppy is going ham on one of those like Benebones.
Oh, I can't hear it, but that's excellent Foley work from Fury. Thank you.
Fury's doing a great one.
Okay, so you share that. Winnie, do you share your scratches?
Yeah.
All right. Freya, what are you gonna try next here?
So it sounds like there are 4 little puzzle pieces and 4 of
Four.
them.
There are
Or
4
just-
long sides. Everybody checked the side between the north and the west. Are you gonna try and check the other sides, Freya?
Absolutely.
So tell me how you do this. Describe it for me.
So I went to like check the other sides where other people are. Or
No.
check the where I'm at?
The other sides of the square that you're looking at, the diamond you're looking at. Are you gonna try and slide the other long sides? And if so, which long side are you trying? The one between the north and the east point, the east and the south point, or the west and the south point?
Which is the one that's the first?
North and west. So this top.
North and west?
If this is the diamond, it was this one.
Oh, and you're in the northwest
Okay.
corner. Maybe we need
So I
to
wanna-
slide the sides that are in the corners that we're in.
Slide the north and west first, and
Mhm.
then I want to see if the one that, like, then if there's space that opens up, I want to see if I can slide like the next one
Like in that direction.
connected to it.
So you're gonna try and slide the one between the north and the east point, the east towards the north point.
I think so.
Okay. That doesn't quite. It doesn't. Sorry. There's no quite about it. It doesn't seem to move at all. It seems like just a piece of inlay.
So I'm gonna do a couple of things. I'm
Mhm.
mostly just gonna fiddle with it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try and move any of them before moving the first one. So I let it slide back,
Mhm.
and then I want to like slide that. If none of that works, then I would slide it forward and then check each piece.
Mhm.
And then if none of that works,
Mhm.
then I want to ask everyone their pieces like to slide all of the pieces at the same time,
Mhm.
so that we can slide them all in to make the clip. Does that make sense?
It super does. So you notice that the piece from the south point to the east point slides from the south to the east. So in opposite directions.
Okay.
Are you going to try to slide them both at the same time?
Yes.
When you do that, the panel pops out. On that same edge, it's hinged on that same edge from the west to the south point, and this compartment is empty. And we're gonna call it. We're gonna stop here for the evening as you hear something start to move behind you. That's where we're gonna leave it for the evening.
What's behind Freya specifically or behind everybody?
It's actually more behind Battle, if it's behind anybody.
Is it the tortoise?
No, the tortoise is in your pocket.
Is it shy?
It's the biting thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
More bees?
Okay, okay, so we're going to do our usual wrap up where we're going to talk through what y'all learned this evening, and then we will nominate role-playing points, role-playing moments. For anybody who's in chat, I do accept nominations through chat. Go ahead and type in there any moments this evening that you thought were particularly good role-playing moments. And then what we'll do is the players will vote on which moment was their favorite, and then that person will get a role-playing point to use next time, which is just advantage on a roll. But let's talk first. What did you all learn this evening?
Freya loves puzzles.
Does Freya love puzzles, or does Freya's player love puzzles?
Both.
Okay,
Good.
I love it.
Freya knows a fair amount about trains.
Freya's the one.
Okay.
Battle got a tortoise. Getting an animal an episode now.
Yep.
The train
That puppies card is gonna, like, it looks cute, but I really started thinking about what would happen if that card gets pulled, and like it's gonna be a mess.
Super inconvenient.
It'll be funny though. Okay. What else did you learn this evening? Sorry, I got distracted. Brain.
Winnie can still learn to be athletic even if she's wearing drugs.
There's something creepy behind me now that Frey has unlocked the Frickers puzzle.
Did she unlock the puzzle or did she unlock the trap?
The Tito. Only the Tito. Fine.
Okay. Anything else you want me to write down for learned?
There's a lot of magic on the train. We're surrounded by a lot of magical objects in the luggage, but the nicer stuff is up front, next to me and Freya. And there's magic throughout the train, and it's like very cryptic how to get through every single car. So either all of the passengers are like nefarious, or the train company is nefarious, or something.
Someone is nefarious. That's what I'll write down.
Maybe the passengers are like limited. This isn't really a learned, but like maybe the passengers are limited to their cars if there's all this magical blockages between doors.
Like in a prison way, maybe, or like a privacy way.
Probably less suspicious. Just like, this isn't the type of train where you can freely go between cars. You're probably just like stuck in the one you get on the train in.
I mean, it could also just be that these are like the storage cars, and so they're not going to have the same ability to move between cars.
Oh,
as
that's
ones
true.
Farther up, it's like these aren't the places for the fancy people who bought tickets.
That makes sense.
Okay. Those are some pretty good learns. Anything else you want me to write down, or we want to move over to the role-playing moments?
Something has to do with the Poseidon-looking dude that's painted on the back door.
Something to do with Poseidon-looking dude painted on back door. Poseidon. Wrong god, but yeah. Looking
World building
dude.
spoon is cringing
I know.
about his million gods.
Wrong god. Yes. Okay. Poseidon-looking dude painted on the back door. It's all connected. I have my reasons. All right, role-playing moments. Let me pop up here. Click. And I'm gonna put the date, which is 8/8/20. Role-playing point. All right, what do you got? Who and what are we nominating for role-playing moments?
I think Winnie's willingness to wear this tiny suit, dress thing, riding suit.
Yeah, that's that.
Good. What else? Poor Winnie. Winnie's basically just been uncomfortable for the last 2 sessions. I apologize.
Oh.
She's doing well though.
You know, being uncomfortable is something that inspires growth. So, you know, character development all the way.
Sure. Yep. That's what's happening. Definitely. Yeah.
I think battles just... I actually don't know how much it was battle or battle's player, but just the... Oh, there's a turtle now? I gotta take care of this. This is my whole... Like, I'm all about this right now.
I mean, that checks out for both. But
Yeah. Which is totally fine. So as I was flipping through those cards, I realized I might need to make this more of a thing that happens if you roll a 7 in combat. That might make more sense. So some of them just were more combat heavy. And but when I got to that one, I was like, yeah, no, this works. This is the first non-combat card I've come to, and it also makes perfect sense for this character. So here we go. I liked it. What else? What's any other good role-playing moments?
This isn't really new, but I liked how when Freya meditates, it's like static. Like even then, there's little pulses of electricity around her.
Yeah.
Freya is incapable of being like totally.
Yeah, I really like that too. It's City. It's one of my favorite things about Freya. I think it's neat. I like how Randall Drew, your character, turned out really well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any other good moments? You ready to vote?
Nothing from chat?
I don't see anything from chat. I'm not sure we have any viewers right now. I think these get watched a lot more in VODs. I've noticed our YouTube numbers are higher for Broken Bane than any of the other ones. So,
Good.
yeah.
I'm
Cool.
sad.
Okay, go ahead and vote. So Winnie's willingness to wear this tiny suit dress thing riding suit, Battle's reaction to the tortoise, immediately wanting to take care of it, and Freya's meditations still having static like stray electricity around her. Looking for 4 votes. All right, Winnie's going to take it with 3 votes, and Freya's meditations get an honorable mention. It's really good. I think this is going really well. So we'll mark that down, and that's it for us for the day.
Cool.
This
It's
was.
a really fun adventure. I like it a lot.
I'm glad you like it. This has been fun for me. I'm glad you guys got on the train, and I appreciate that you got on the train this time instead of. I was
Ask that. Like, you appreciate that we went on the train?
So I prepared myself. I mentally prepared. I was talking to a friend, and they were like, they could just go into the town, and I was like, I know, and he was like, are you prepared for that? And I was like, yeah, I'm prepared.
I didn't play this up when it happened, but I want to mention that I don't remember who said it, but I think maybe it was Battle who suggested we go on top of the train, and I was terrified.
That was Freya.
Yeah.
That was Freya.
me.
Yep.
Of course.
You could see Yume's face, maybe with my face.
You don't want to go on top of the train?
It out yet.
It is still a possibility.
You don't want to do that?
We might need to.
It's possible. Everything's possible. I think you've really covered a lot of your bases here. Like you've got the disguise. You're getting through the doors. Like you guys. I'm really interested in this. It'll be interesting to see what y'all do next, for sure.
I'm reconsidering. If it does come to combat, I think I would prefer the combat to be on top of the train than inside of it.
I cast Fireball, but you're inside of a train car. I didn't ask how big the room was. I just cast Fireball. You guys ever seen that meme?
No one cast
Yes.
Fireball.
It's one of my favorite memes. In the Treasure Tuesday campaign recently, one of the characters chucked a flask of alchemical fire that they pulled out of a trap at the ground. Or they used catapult, actually, on it. So they chucked it across the room. And the trap...
On Alchemist Fire is actually really neat.
It's...
But using Alchemist Fire in a small room with your allies nearby, not so much.
And I asked a bunch of questions to make sure that was exactly what he wanted to do, and I reminded him that it came out of a trap that they very narrowly avoided triggering, and realizing they couldn't read what I could read, and I was like, all right, you do this, everything is now on fire. Everybody, please. And he was like, no, what have I done?
That's amazing. I think one of the favorite moments that has ever happened in the game was a couple years ago. My husband and I were living in different cities because finishing up Dark World programs involved moving.
It does.
And I had gone down to visit him with a bunch of friends, and we stayed up really late at night playing D&D, and there may or may not have been alcohol involved.
Sure.
And we were in this room, and we were fighting these cultists, but we had managed to, like, tie up all the cultist leaders and like we're like, great, this is gonna be awesome. Combat is about to be over, and then we turn to the next person in line who has not been paying attention and just casts fireball and immediately like I think it was like it was just immediately incinerated everyone that we were like, we've resolved this without murdering anyone.
Hooray! Yeah. No, one of my groups wants to use Get Help at some point from one of the Thor movies, which I'm very much looking forward to that day. I love D&D moments because you can make of them whatever you want, and they're just so fun. Anyway, all right, I think we're all coming back next week. Is next week a week that we're all back?
Sure
I
thing.
think I have my other game next week.
Oh, okay. I thought that was once a month. Sorry, we can have this conversation offline. We're gonna have this conversation offline. Yeah, for sure. Well, Stream, we're gonna wrap this up. We may or may not see you next week, but I'll post about it online. And that is not a big deal. We already know about this. So, everybody say bye, Stream.
Bye,
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 Stream.
Stream.
Button. Where's the button? There we go.